two dope dudes, bringing you the news, leading you to much success with all their insightful views. Do you grow yourself or buy from the top shelf? Are you here to take the reins and gain back your health? Whatever it is, you know the biz. Leave a like, crack a pipe, and let's get on with it. If you want to acquire the knowledge, you don't have to go to college. You can just come hang with Aaron and Dave.
Welcome to the Elevated News Podcast for Two Dope Dudes. We're a podcast with focus on discussing local and national cannabis news and culture. I'm Aaron.
Hey, I'm Dave.
That's right. What's going on, dude? How are you?
Oh, I am lovely. We are lovely.
We are lovely.
Yep.
We're doing well.
What'd you call it?
Burnout. Shout out.
Burned me out.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a real good one.
How's your week been?
Good.
Yeah.
Good, and it can always get better.
It can always get better. It can always
That's
get
right.
worse too.
Ooh, don't know.
Yeah, don't you know?
Nah.
It could.
I mean, it could.
I mean,
Oh,
be thankful
yeah.
that it's not worse because
That's
it
it.
could get worse.
That's it.
Could be raining.
Well, it's gonna tomorrow, from what I hear.
Well, it can't rain all the time.
Yeah. Some people like the rain.
I mean,
I enjoy it, but hey, no, things are good. How's things with you?
pretty awesome. Been getting caught up on stuff. Been enjoying my time doing podcast stuff with Chris and Pete. That's been real cool. A lot of different avenues opening up. Been house hunting.
Yeah.
Looking for the right spot. Haven't come up with anything yet, but fingers crossed. The market's looking better for
It
the
is.
buyers.
Yeah.
So I'm fortunate that I'm in
I'm-
a position that I can, we can buy.
Yeah.
So
Good.
Yeah.
I think
yeah, we've got lots of cool stuff going on though. We got the Fox Valley Growers Club, like we talked about on the last one. Had a whole lot of fun at the Melt Market and met a bunch of new friends, gave out some stuff, and now we're doing August 17th, the used grow equipment swap meetup and sesh night, which is super cool.
That was a really good idea.
Yeah.
Whoever brung that up, that's a good one.
I think I thought of it. No, I thought of it at Nican with Chris because he bought some lights and he's like, I got to sell them. And I was like, why don't we just
Nice.
do a grow? Yeah.
Nice.
So that's what we're doing. But
Fire.
feedback's been really good.
Smarts.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that's going to be fun. That's going to be August 17th. So check it out.
Cool.
Hell yeah. I guess let's get into it. Oh,
Hammer.
you know what I got to do? I got to start the timer. Or I forget how long we've been going for, and then it's no good. But hey, if you grow, you know. Having the right gear for your home garden makes all the difference. That's why you need to get on board with Crop Culture's quarterly home grower boxes.
Crop Culture releases insane value boxes every 3 months packed with premium seeds, growing equipment, and unique extras tailored for those who want to plant with a purpose.
But that's not all. Coming soon, they're launching monthly crop drops, where you can snag a pack or two of Fire Genetics, along with must-have gardening accessories like AC Infinity's legendary trimming scissors.
We're talking stickers, mystery goodies, and deeply discounted bundles you won't find anywhere else. Just an easy one-time purchase with no commitment.
Their current quarterly box is an absolute steal, featuring top-shelf genetics, a pH meter or smell-proof bag, monitoring tools, fermented plant probiotics, and more.
And for our listeners, use the code 2DOPEDUDES for $10 off any purchase of $100 or more at cropculture.net.
So whether you want the full quarterly experience or just need a regular re-up, Crop Culture's got you covered.
Level up your garden and score some gear that'll have your plants standing tall. If you grow, you know you need to check them out at cropculture.net before sold-out regret sets in. Let them help you plant with a purpose. Hey, Canna-Curious connoisseurs, are you looking to elevate your wellness routine? Take it up a notch with Mr. CBD Chicago.
That's right, dude. They've got everything you need from their brand new El Jefe line with CBD and THC sprays for a discreet and convenient dose, to their legendary Moonrock Matte Bottle Rockets and the always satisfying Spliff Society pre-rolls.
And listen up, Two Dope Dude listeners. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES at checkout for 10% off your entire order at MrCBDChicago.com. That's right, 10% off.
So ditch the stress and embrace the good vibes with Mr. CBD Chicago. Head over to their website today. Just remember, use the code 2DOPEDUDES for that sweet discount. You're not going to regret it. Hey there, fellow plant enthusiasts. Tired of using chemical fertilizers that harm your soil and the environment?
We feel you. That's why we want to introduce you to Green Grow Biological.
Green Grow offers organic soil amendments packed with beneficial bacteria and mycorrhizae fungi like their popular Pride Bloom fertilizer and flower finisher.
These little powerhouses work together to improve your soil health, helping your plants grow strong and healthy naturally. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, Green Grow has something for you.
And because Green Grow is committed to sustainable practices, you can feel good about what you're putting into your home and garden.
Head over to thegreengrow.com to learn more about their amazing products and how they can help you take your gardening to the next level.
And listen up, because here's a special offer just for our listeners. Use the code 2DOPEDUDES for 10% off your entire order at thegreengrow.com.
That's 2DOPEDUDES for 10% off at greengrow.com. Happy planting!
You can find us, the Elevated News Podcast, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all your other favorite streaming and podcast apps. Two Dope Dudes YouTube channel. Give us a like, leave a review. We just hit 8,000 views. It was really cool.
Bang!
This helps us
go.
reach
That's
more
super cool.
people. At the Growers Hangout on YouTube, Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. What do you see who would grow with next? It's been super fun. This week, tomorrow is, or would have been yesterday for you guys, is just me, Chris, and Pete. And then we're going to give the link out, and we're going to allow other growers to come on and talk. You, right from the audience. I hope you were there, and I hope you clicked the link and came and hung out with us for a bit. We're going to do some like what's your worst grow stories or something like that. Tell us your funny grow stories. Probably give away something at the end to the best story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be really fun.
Yep.
So,
I like that.
and then you can always find us on supportdopepeople.com along with links to our other pods and free stickers just by providing your email and address. There's links to Build a Soil and the Green Grow affiliate links there, give you 10% off. And always stuff about Fox Valley Growers Club if you're looking for it. And then email us at twodopedudspodcast@gmail.com for all your questions or things you'd like us to talk about. By the way, remind me, I got an email there about guest booking.
Oh,
I gotta
nice.
show you. So
Nice. I'm into that.
Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing on Thursday night?
Yeah.
What if you want to hang out with me? I'll be there live on YouTube, hanging out, mostly there to try and help you take your health back into your own hands with cannabis. And I say it so...
Hands Abyss.
Yeah, I say it like that because I talk a lot. I do a lot of wild things. It's
Mhm.
a lot of fun, though. Come hang out. And really, honestly, if anybody has any questions about cannabis, even from the legal perspective or the recreationally taxed market, if you would like to know anything about it,
Yeah.
I'm happy to share and let you know my perspective. As somebody who obviously is just I want to be a bridge for peace to every direction, but it's nice to know what's going on inside these places too, so that
Yeah.
we can possibly learn. I mean, they're not the enemy if we learn some things and make money because
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. Heck yeah. Hey, let's check out our YouTube comments.
Come on.
Grow Joe, great show, so much info. The issue of lack of representation from the medical side concerns me. I wonder if collecting the thoughts, feelings, and concerns of card holders via interviews could be valuable. It would.
1000%.
You should check out Shy Cannabis Nurse. Yeah, Shy Cannabis Nurse on Instagram, along with Modern Compassionate Care, is accepting interviews from medical patients just for that.
I always thought about doing that too from the beginning. I thought about doing that because
I wish we had the space and the time to do it, but that's just not something that's
no
viable for either of us.
I mean, shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, push everybody to Thursday night and come fucking talk
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah,
right? Because
sure.
yeah,
I mean, you
it's already
should check
blocked
on
off.
Tuesday nights at 7 if you're not in my show. Cole from the Cole Memo does a 7 p.m. Check-in meeting. I mean, and I think Katie from Modern Compassionate Care is in there as well. She's also on the medical cannabis
The board,
the board. Yeah.
nice.
So you can probably find her there as well. If you want to get a hold of her, and you can't find her, just get with me and I'll send you a link.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm into that. And Joe, you're absolutely right. I think we do lack representation
Yeah.
for the medical patients, especially when that is the whole gateway to these people getting the money that they have now or having anything to begin with. It
We,
was all built on the backs of actual medical patients
Mhm.
who were literally
Yes.
diagnosed conditions. It's not just a like now I tell everybody get a fucking medical license. What are you doing? Anybody can get one now, right? We're in a state, anybody in any state can pretty much get a medical license, but definitely fucking has laxed over here. But
I mean, you
uh,
still have to have a qualifying condition. You
yeah,
still have to be
but PTSD
you're
is
right,
not
and you should be careful about PTSD
diagnosable.
if you're a 2A person.
Post concussive
Is
is
a
not
lifetime.
diagnosable, and it's fucking
It is a
lifetime.
lifetime.
Well, and it's not that it's not diagnosable as much as you can go.
Yeah.
I get a little space cakey, and I played football back in the
Right.
day.
So PCS, post concussive syndrome,
Yeah,
is definitely one that, as of yet, nobody has used for any cognitive impairment in regards to 2A. As far as the first one, I would be very, very careful using PTSD if you are at all concerned about in the future them using that against, like with a red flag law or something, to further deny you your Second Amendment rights, is all I am saying. I just wouldn't want people going, hey, I
has
have
anybody
PTSD.
been denied because of having PTSD as a qualifying condition, or no? Do we know?
So as far as denied, no, but I
'Cause
would. So here's my
at
concern.
least in Illinois.
I would have to actually look that up. I would bet that the state has used PTSD in some reasons to use red flag laws in certain instances. I'm just saying that if you look at what has happened and what uh, continues to happen, I'm just saying I wouldn't just willy nilly use PTSD.
Yeah, but PTSD
Just let me say,
doesn't just qualify like
I would say that having PTSD as an official diagnosis on your medical records in the future could,
yeah,
it's
theoretically.
something that you should think about if you're just going to use a condition that you feel that you may or may not have to get a medical card. That's
Yeah,
not one of the
but
willy
that's
nilly
not-
ones that I would
but this
necessarily use. I'm just urging
it's not a
people to
willy
think.
nilly as much as there is claim to, and this is why it gets real crazy because everybody gets real. What's the interpretation of those words, right? But I know plenty of people who have PTSD in a very viable state from
Sure.
COVID.
Sure.
They still react to things because of that time period that we live through. They react to things in a certain
Sure.
mannerism.
Sure.
That is post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, sure.
As far as any interpretation of the word goes, and again, I'm with you on some of the
I'm just saying,
things,
be
but
careful. Be careful using something that is like a what's the word, psychosis, or like a mental impairment. A mental impairment is not necessarily you want to have as an official diagnosis, unless that is actually what you have. I don't mean it like disrespectfully
Yeah.
or anything. I'm
No, I
just
think it,
speaking as a broad medical term. Just be careful what sort of diagnosis
yeah,
is
but
you
I
use.
don't know
The same
who.
goes for ADD, and I'm diagnosed with ADD, and I have been accused of having a cognitive impairment by a police officer because I have ADD and I am a concealed carry card holder and
but
have
that's
carried.
not the
But
way the law is
but
interpreted.
well,
It's the way
intent.
he wants to
You're right.
interpret whatever.
Intent is criminalized in Illinois, and it's how they interpret the law. And how they interpret the law is not always the same, so you can't be sure of it either. I'm just saying, be careful.
Yeah, I'm
That's
with you
all
on
I'm
it.
saying.
I like it. Yeah,
I want people to have medical cards.
There's so many loose-ended things.
Well,
And
it's like in
I know that-
California when they would go and they'd say, "Hey, what's
I
wrong
just
with
think
you?" And
the
you go, "Well, I
problem
don't feel good when I'm not high." And the doctor goes, "Well, then you need marijuana, sir." And you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
don't be stupid and go, "Oh, I'll just say I have PTSD so I can get my medical card," and
Yeah,
then
but that's
regret
only
it later.
I mean, that's only to somebody who is worried
Editing that part out. You
Yeah.
can't have gun talk is a whole other thing than
Yeah.
cannabis talk on
It's-
YouTube.
Yeah, it's just fucking you can't fucking like I don't know, man. Yeah, he's a yeah.
Bop, bop, bop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole no, you can't say that.
Yeah, fucking
No.
yeah.
No. So anyway, yeah, good stuff. Can I talk about Illinois Craft Showcase again? I just wanted to remind everybody, you can get free tickets. Go to Illinois News Joint. It's gonna be fun. September 7th. Talked about it last time too.
That's the one with all the
Yeah, all the
craft
yeah,
folks. Yeah.
yeah.
A lot of good names in there.
A lot of good names, and our friends down at Illinois News Joint. We love they've got Illinois News Joint. They're doing Illinois news events now, or news joint events. I think there's like a news joint bar type, like something else, like a dab tending. Great stuff. Love everything you're doing. Love you guys.
Fire.
Fire. And can let's talk about this real quick.
Oh, this is a yeah.
I'm burping over here, so.
Mm.
Excuse me. So, reminder: Grateful Bean End of Summer Sesh Fest, 8:30 through September 1st. So August 30 through September 1st. It's a 3-day event, 21 plus only, private show, ticketed event. Terrapin Flyer, one of my favorite bands,
Super
one of my favorite Grateful Dead cover bands. Of course, another friends, who is awesome, and all your favorite sort of vendors. Sponsored by Archive and Simple Jars. Love those people.
And what days is this?
This is August 30th, September, or August 31st and September 1st. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There's camping. It's very festival vibes. And it'll be out in West Chicago. I've been out there painting. So, yep. Just a reminder. I'll put up a little QR code. Hope you're coming out. It's going to be super, super fun. So. And then I talked about it earlier, the Fox Valley Growers Club, used grow equipment, swap meet, and sesh. There's going to be a free pop-up dab bar from FCC 420 and sponsored by Archive. We thank you very much. Appreciate you. And this is going to be 5 to 10 p.m. Saturday, August 17th, 501 St. Charles Road and Carroll Stream at Sessions. So come if you have used grow equipment.
So
Or if
fire.
you want to buy some used grow equipment, or you want to trade some used grow equipment, or new grow or whatever, come here. It's free.
Kind of dope.
It's free. This is
Really,
like,
really, really cool.
yeah, this is what we're trying to do. It's community vibes, and talk to some of the cool Fox Valley growers.
I promise you, there's a lot of information there that
Yeah.
you would love to absorb if you were growing cannabis. They have got quite the cool ass crew of
Mhm.
people. I'm really a big fan.
Hell yeah. So, hey, let's get into we're doing a quick show today. So I want to talk about this. This is from Illinois News Joint. MCAB awaits chair appointment for final decision on recommended conditions. So as we have talked about before, if you are a fan of the show, if you're still watching, one of the 7 billion of the original first year of everybody having to watch the show. It was part of our contract. So you'll know that there was a time when they didn't. They did this back in the day. They would have the medical cannabis advisory board meetings, and then COVID started happening, and they didn't want to have them anymore because they didn't like people yelling at them, because people would come on and say, "What are you guys doing?" Because they weren't really doing anything. They weren't adding new conditions. They weren't recommending anything. It was just a stale, nothing was moving. Then they started having meetings again this year. And we've had like 3 meetings, and
Nice.
and I was on one of them. Shout out to the person that told me to get on and watch. Make sure to watch the cameras because it was fantastic. And that person was not lying. It is a complete shit show. I've talked about it on the podcast. Um, there are people there who are professors of rehabilitation and drug addiction type things, and they're on this board arguing against adding anything to qualifying conditions for cannabis. That one woman
Yeah,
famously said that she wanted to be seen as the gatekeeper, and that just not anything would pass.
Yeah, it just
So
doesn't. I
right. So and I have definitely advocated for, we need more intelligent people. We need more of the patients on these calls to know what's going on, to be able to speak up, because you can publicly speak. I've seen the director of Chicago Normal on there, Ariane Richards. She's wonderful. Katie Sullivan, Shy Cannabis Nurses, spoke about earlier. She's one of the people who is always on the board. So anyway, during the last few months, the Illinois Department of Public Health, in conjunction with the Medical Cannabis Advisory Board, voted to add 4 new recommended conditions to the list of qualifying debilitating conditions for Illinois patients in the compassionate use of medical cannabis program. You're all caught up now, okay? That was the backstory. Now here we are. They kind of did stuff. They stopped. They got mad. They stopped. Now we're doing stuff again, and here we are. The recommendations have been on hold, including postponing the July board meeting until the office of the governor appoints a chair and a co-chair to the board. So now we need a chairperson and a co-chairperson, apparently. For this annual process, MCAB has voted to recommend 4 new conditions, including endometriosis, female orgasmic disorder, ovarian cyst, and uterine fibroid. Separate votes for a qualifying term, which we have spoken about, to the condition was also recommended for painful ovarian cyst and painful uterine fibroid, which just goes back to, we've discussed it ad nauseum. The whole board, they don't even understand what it is that they're voting for. They're very focused on cannabis for pain as if it's some thing like that. It just shows how little they know about this. So the 4 recommend, which is why you're watching this, you're listening to this. You need to be on this meeting. You don't have to do anything. You just like go to the website and go, I want to be on the next meeting. You can do it. You need to be there. The 4 recommended conditions have been forwarded to the IDPH Director's Office for final decision and are awaiting the appointment of an MCAB chair and co-chair. Neither an appointment date nor a date for the next MCA meeting has been set. The governor's office is working to finalize the appointment of a chair and co-chair for the board, and we are working to schedule its next meeting, said Public Information Officer Jim Leach. As its last meeting, the board offered recommendations on the potential inclusion of additional conditions to be eligible for medical cannabis. Those recommendations are being reviewed by the IDPH Director's Office. The votes for generalized anxiety and polycystic ovarian syndrome fell short and were not recommended. Generalized anxiety and polycystic ovarian syndrome may be reintroduced during the next annual process in order to revisit a vote, which we should. For more Illinois cannabis news industry, subscribe to Illinois News Joint's newsletter here.
generalized
So-
anxiety should definitely just
Yeah.
go in the thing because, like I said, it's the encompassing part
Right.
of some of these larger diagnoses like PTSD that we were talking about before. You don't necessarily want a PTSD diagnosis. So a generalized anxiety diagnosis would be perfect.
Right.
know?
I mean,
But-
there's just other things I'm just saying. So here's the list. Currently, qualifying patients must be diagnosed with a debilitating condition to be eligible for a medical cannabis registry identification card in Illinois. Conditions include autism, agitation of Alzheimer's, HIV/AIDS, ALS, RAP. What's his name? Not Lou Gehrig. The greatest comedian of all time. Anorexia nervosa, Arnold Chiari malformation, cancer, wasting syndrome. You want to take any of these, Dave?
Causalgia. Yeah, but who's the greatest comedian? Chronic inflammatory.
Hold on a second, because my ADD's kicking in and I can't think about his name. His first name's
Demyelinating polyneuropathy.
Michael Lehrer. Sorry.
Okay. I did not. Chronic pain.
Yeah.
That's it. See, when we'll allow something like the words chronic pain to classify a condition,
Mm-hmm.
so then should be generalized anxiety.
Right.
Because chronic pain just means consistent.
Right.
And then like a lot of us are consistently in pain, right? The forces of nature will constantly
Yeah.
be playing against us. So I don't know. It's weird to me. And what the fuck is pain? Pain's more than
Right.
just calling something pain, right? Like neuropathy is pain, fucking spasticity is pain, headache is pain, fucking what's this shit called? Arthritis. I
Yeah.
got some of that in my thumb, you know?
Yeah.
That's
I heard
pain.
that's why you can't throw mids.
That's why I can't throw shit.
Anyway,
Broken.
there's a whole
Oh.
list. There's a
Yeah,
whole
that's
list.
the debilitating list is 60 something conditions long now or something like that. I don't know. I just wish that I wish that we would just see it's because of this that causes confusion. I was just talking to somebody about it earlier.
Yeah.
What the hell? What is the law of it? And I said, well, what is laws to begin with? Laws is just interpretation of the fucking words, you know?
Was that me that you were just
Well-
talking to about it?
What?
Was it me that you were just talking to about it? Because we actually were. kind
No,
of.
you and I were talking
Okay.
about this too, but no.
I thought you were
somebody-
retelling the story of when we were talking about it
No,
10
no,
minutes ago.
No.
So I was
no,
like, damn, that's
Well,
bold.
and the reason why I did that is the reason why I brought it up before is because I literally was having this
Right.
conversation, but it's what do these words mean,
Right.
right? And what's the difference between medical cannabis and recreational cannabis?
The
And what's the
tax?
difference between when you use it compared to when I use it?
Nothing.
Nothing. I don't give a flying fuck what, like, this is the thing. Do we, at some point, could you diagnose every human that walks on the earth with some kind of condition? I genuinely believe you could. Because
Yeah.
I don't know a single person who doesn't deal with pain, especially in chronic episodes.
Mhm.
I also don't know a single person who hasn't dealt with PTSD. I
Yeah.
don't know a single person who hasn't dealt with fucking generalized anxiety. I don't know a single person.
Every time I play 17 at Eagle and when it's in the long basket, I get more.
generalized
I
anxiety.
get generalized anxiety and extra PTSD because it just
Extra.
compounds.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
compounds.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I throw so many bad shots there that I'll just never have a good shot there. Yeah. Some of the best
I'm
water in the planet right there.
Good old Chippewas. No,
Chippewa.
I just
I'm an Indian outlaw.
yeah. I don't know. I despise to some degree the way that this becomes interpreted because it's not for the user at all.
Right.
These words, you understand, like, and the more that, well, this is where I was going with this. The more that we twist up the words and the more we confuse people, the more we can use the words against the people. And the people who aren't willing to get educated enough to understand what the fuck it means, they fall behind, which only means that we are enslaving the dumb. And that's a modernized way these fucking the government as a whole is the slave owners of the modernized dumb. And it's unfortunate because people like Aaron and I sit here consistently and go, hey,
Hey.
you motherfuckers hearing what we're saying? There's a logic to something that's going on here, and people don't. Here's a For us to present logic to people attacks their intelligence of some sort. So then they're like, well, I don't want to fucking listen to you tell me. No, man, I'm trying to wake people the fuck up. Do we all understand that we are being played? No matter what your fucking side of this is, you are being fucking played.
Right.
The harder you lean into one direction or the other, the more you say, I'm legal cannabis or I'm black market cannabis, the more you say I'm hemp or I'm cannabis, the more you say I'm fucking medical or recreational. It's just fucking confusion.
Yeah.
And the more that you pull yourself into either category, the more wrong you are. That's all that the truth is. Your way is your way, but that's not the way for everybody. Just do good at what you're doing. That's all the fuck you have to do.
There's room for everybody.
I promise. And just if all of us interpreted the verbiage the correct way, we would all be in a far better place to begin with. There would be means for relationships instead of fucking enemies, right? Like, because that's what's going on more than anything here is everybody's going, well, how do I get everybody to come to me instead of going to you? Which is, I get it. Competition's not a terrible thing at some points, but a lot of people need access to this thing, and they still don't even have fucking access to it. And regardless if you want to call it medical access, recreational access, hemp, cannabis, I don't give a flying fuck. This plant, when used correctly, is an unbelievable tool. And for personal, but also maybe for economical as well, right? So, I don't know, man. It fucking bugs the shit out of me that we still can't decide whether or not somebody's anxious enough or not to get fucking cannabis. Whether
Well,
we
only God
tell
can
if
judge
they've
me, so whatever.
Hey.
I didn't vote for them.
Yep, that's right.
Hey, let's talk legalization news.
Oh, from
Did you know our friends over in Ohio, which is not far, just a few hours away?
They should, because they were fucking losing all that money to Michi.
Yeah. Here's where you can buy recreational marijuana in Ohio starting yesterday. Yesterday. I know it's Tuesday
Oh, and
because
that's yesterday.
my partner works for a company that is in Ohio. So it's tomorrow.
Nice.
Tomorrow for them.
Nice.
Nearly 100 dispensaries in Ohio will be able to open their doors to adult consumers starting Tuesday, regulators have announced. The Division of Cannabis Control said on Monday that it will be issuing 98 certificates of operation to existing medical marijuana dispensaries that applied for dual licenses so they can also serve the recreational market. This comes about a month ahead of a deadline to approve hybrid shops after voters approved legalization at the ballot last November. It's unclear how many of the businesses that received the certificates will launch adult use sales on Tuesday, but several will have announced their own plans to open up shop, including multi-state operators such as Cresco Labs, AYR Wellness, and Curaleaf.
You don't say.
Oh, is that the reason that Verano just bought all that Curaleaf stuff in Vermont and whatnot? Anyway,
I mean, it's
also True Leaf's open in Ohio as well. A big reason we were able to get this point ahead of the September 7th deadline was due to the foundation laid through the state's existing medical marijuana control program. Oh, that seems like a good thing, right? Like that seems like how it should work, right? Look at that, Ohio. Good job.
That they said you got a certificate of operation, and
Yeah.
they didn't call it some fucking unbeatable license. You know,
Right. So DCC Superintendent James Canapa said in a press release, since existing licensees had already met stringent requirements of that program, we anticipated this process to be rather smooth. They had already undergone many of the comprehensive checks as part of that process. he said that dispensaries with provisional dual licenses that haven't obtained a certificate of operation likely submitted incomplete applications that will need to be resolved before they can start serving patients and adult consumers. Makes sense. Will you pass me that one right there?
Yeah.
As the non-medical cannabis market opens, the division will continue to review and improve those 10B dispensary or bonus licenses, which are blah 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 blah, what they call them, basically.
Yeah. Well, but that's awesome because they're just gonna allow people to purchase licenses, maybe up to a certain amount, depending on who you are and where you're from. Um, but based off of your qualifications.
Yeah.
Um, Probably based off of some equitable fucking reasons and shit, but it hasn't. I don't know that it is based off of like if you've been a victim before, or if you're of a certain skin color, or if you're of a certain religious background. None of them fucking shits apply to these licenses, and it's nice to see somebody that's like, hey, we will just allow business to business around us, you know?
So it's ready. Uh, so I was reading this. Things they can and can't do. For example, they can't have on-site consumption, offer samples, infused or non-infused, have music or food trucks outside the shop, promote the opening with celebratory decor on the exterior, or hold a ribbon cutting ceremony outside. They can't have music inside as long as it's not a live performance. They can have complimentary non-alcoholic beverages, waters, and promote the opening by holding a ribbon cutting ceremony inside the dispensary. They had to, before they got a certification, applicants that received a provisional license needed to first prove that they've updated their point of sale to distinguish between medical cannabis and adult use, enhance security, and verify they'll be able to maintain an adequate supply for patients. All
That's
very common sense, normal things to do.
yeah, and very tough for somebody to be able to prove too.
Yeah. Governor Mike DeWine doesn't personally support legalization, but he's repeatedly criticized the delay in access to regulated products since voters made that choice and possession became legal in December. That is how it's supposed to be. Just because you are against something,
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Voted.
But if the people voted, not in a,
That's democracy, man.
we backdoor shelled something. You know what I mean? If it was an actual legal process, and actually legal is probably because it's all legal, but if it was a fair and equitable, common sense, what you would think politics is supposed to be, then that's what it's supposed to be. Anyway, yeah.
I mean,
Congrats to our
common
friends in
sense
Ohio.
is far from common.
Yeah.
And there's something that like falls to us to figure that out. What we believe is what we believe. You know, like I've had this thing happen a couple of times lately where I'm like, I think I'm right about something, or I think that I know some shit,
Yeah.
and then like I don't know why my brain's getting so like, it's like, wait a minute, maybe you don't know shit.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe you're not right about this thing and look at it from a different perspective.
Maybe you're too fast to make up your mind that you're right. And you
Right.
Yeah, I get there too.
Right. But like, I don't know. In that, there's been a nice comfort of, I don't know.
Getting to enjoy the moment of not knowing it all.
Well,
The experience of learning.
Yeah, I think that's maybe it.
You know what I mean?
Knowing that there's room for growth
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
I mean, not just narrowing myself
Right.
off. And then I think, here's what my point was going to be. I got a little bit high for a second. The weed started kicking.
Yeah, shout out to Burnout.
Yeah, burnout. I did a little in my brain right there.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking. What were we talking about?
Marijuana. Ohio.
I like this.
And opening open to growth and knowing that it's always, possible. And then you said, "Oh, I remember what I'm talking about. I got a little high there."
Yeah. And then I did another. I did.
And then we talked
burnout.
about burn. Then
I
we
burn
were-
out in second gear
yeah,
again. Though.
yeah,
A
yeah,
little slippage, you
yeah, a
know.
little slippage.
Um, yeah, I was trying to make a point about how I've been not right about things lately.
Yeah,
But that's it. See, like I always do think I'm right though.
Me
Right?
too.
From my perspective means something to me.
sure. Yeah, we're the same way in that. And like, if you can understand somebody else's perspective, you can put yourself in their shoes, and then you can empathize and you go, okay, I can see how you get there. And then maybe they're still wrong, but you at least understand how they got there.
Well, I'm going, well, isn't that logical?
Yeah, you would
Doesn't
think.
that make sense
No,
if that's
other
what
people,
you
other
should do?
people don't do that. It's weird.
But here's some realization that came to me too. You're
Oh,
just a
we're-
product of your environment.
We're weird
right?
too.
Well,
sure.
yeah, completely. But
Yeah.
you just become an equation of the environments that you've existed in. You take little bits from all of
Yeah.
it, and then that's just you, right?
Yeah.
But like, some people have really shit parents.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
Some
And-
people have really shitty teachers.
Yep.
Some people are really shitty teachers. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I'm like, man.
Whoa, calm down, dude.
There's this perpetuating outward, like, how do we fix some of the bad things, the broken shit?
Oh well,
How
first
do
of all, we have to. There's lots. There's lots. If you want to talk about schooling system, talk about the crazy ideas that are perpetuated inside these schooling systems, and then these
Well,
people
but it-
become
but it's- but-
teachers,
but
and
the-
they go to universities and they never leave, and then they perpetuate these ideas upon people who actually do leave, and then people go out in the world and they say, "Hey, it's supposed to be this way."
I mean,
and
for,
then
for that,
it's
there's
not.
there's a thinking
That-
point
that's
for
a
all
thing.
of us. Here's what we all. I mean, there's a logical point in what you're saying. If what I've talked about earlier with the government and
Right.
everything, right? If the government is just trying to enslave the dumb,
No, they're just trying to get more taxes.
but that's how do you
Yeah.
make more money off of people outside of going, oh, well, you did it wrong.
Well,
You didn't know how to do it right. Well, why don't I know
It-
how to do it right? What I think is right is right.
Well, that's not what
But-
the government's for. If you're a Republican, then the answer is we're going to make more tariffs, and then the people are suddenly going to want to choose to buy something. I.e., look at like the sugar subsidies. Or if you're on the left and a Democrat, then you're going to be like, we need to tax the billionaires because that's the problem.
Yeah,
But neither
that's
is
the whole-
neither
but
is the
whole
actual
point
problem.
Is that every fucking
Yeah,
person who buys into either side,
That's what
you're
I'm
being
saying.
taxed too.
no, that's what I'm
and-
saying.
And ultimately, what do we fight at the end of this?
Right.
I've said it a million times. If we had a fucking, because the amount of times I've heard people say Civil War and fucking whatever, I'm like, who are you fighting for? What the fuck are you fighting for? Some of these fights don't go over well for some of the groups that are trying to claim the narratives. But then I look at it, I'm going, who's pushing the narratives?
The government.
Because down on the ground level, the people that I interact with, I don't have the same fucking
Yeah.
problems that the news has.
Yeah.
But the news perpetuates it so bad that the
Right.
people around me are going, do we have these
Yeah.
fucking problems or not? I don't really know, honestly. I'm going, man, we smoked this with me.
Yeah.
Can we all have a communication so that we first
Yeah.
understand we're okay?
Yeah.
We're going to get through this shit together.
You'll probably
we
be
are
dead
getting-
before anything changes anyway.
Well, and no matter what,
Like we said on
it's-
the last
it's
one.
gone so far down a path
Yeah.
that whistleblowers or anybody
Yeah.
who's too logical that catches too much fucking steam, they'll just snuff you the fuck out, bro.
Ooh, here's a cool one. We were supposed to have something similar to this in Illinois, and then Mr. Pritzker decided that he was going to
Can't get too many
be
lights.
the new
dude. We're gonna-
governor
they're gonna
and
snuff us out. dude.
wanted to change it. Meanwhile, as regulators have worked to finalize regulations for adult use market in Ohio, it has already implemented a change in February that allows medical marijuana patients and caregivers to obtain or renew their registrations for only 1 penny. That fee was then totally eliminated with the adoption of a new rule at May's JCAR meeting. The fee elimination is part of an initial package of rules that DCC released in February to implement adult use legalization. So in Illinois, there was a fund where a bunch of the registration money from medical card users went. And then there was a law that said that they were going to refund part of that money eventually back to the people who had medical cards. And then they decided they were going to use that to give money to the police in some way or something else and not give it back to any of the medical. I mean,
Oh, wow.
just they're
Well,
like, no,
that's-
we need this. We should not give this back. So look at
Well,
Ohio.
that's good.
Look at Ohio doing great things for their constituents, for the people of Ohio. They have seems like some common sense, non ridiculous lawmakers that
Yeah.
care about, the people there long term.
If you want the honest to God truth, the more that I exist within the borders that I do, the more that I think that I don't want to.
Yeah.
And I
Go down to Springfield with me, bro. Come to Springfield with me, bro.
I think that's the thing. At
You're
some
gonna be
point
like,
when
you're like, I need a small motel where I can just,
I could see people
know.
being ignorant enough to get into like border wars.
yeah,
Right? I
Yeah,
can see that.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm with you, dude. Springfield is away. I just don't know if I can. I don't know if I want to change anything as much as I would rather there just be something that isn't fucked and then just kind of gravitate towards that.
Or we just need to change a few words and for growing. We just need we can just change a couple
we're-
words.
I mean, we're past just getting a few cannabis laws fucking regulated over here, right? Like we're broke and past and for you and I it's like easy to talk about some of these things. Let's get the cannabis laws fixed because that's
Oh, I
fucking
no, I
easy,
know
bro.
that. I'm
How
just saying,
easy is that?
what can we do? What can we do for us? Hey, I wanted to touch on this real quick. We've got some time left,
Yeah.
but we talked about this in an early episode. I'm pretty sure it was Massachusetts, or maybe it was another one, but I'm pretty sure it was Massachusetts. Cannabis regulators acknowledge failure to collect more than $500,000 in licensing fees. This might have been like episode 7 or 8. No, I'm good. The Cannabis Control Commission says
Oh yeah, I laughed at this.
yes,
pretty good.
said it failed to collect more than $500,000 in licensing fees from applicants over the last 2 years. Actually, it was St. Louis, wasn't it? It was Missouri. That was what it
Maybe
was.
Something like that.
But officials insist no money was stolen. The situation is the latest example of dysfunction at the commission, whose chairman is suspended and whose executive director has left and not been replaced yet. This is in Massachusetts, where the probably the only direct workplace death due to cannabis has occurred in the entire world. There's somebody who had pre-existing conditions, was working without respirator or adequate ventilation or things taken at True Leave. They ended up dying. True Leave does not actually have any stores in Massachusetts anymore. They shut it down, but they still operate their warehousing, I think. That was something we talked about way back
Yeah.
when. That's how
I
I know.
remember that very
Yeah. So, in an email, a spokesperson for the agency said a license renewal extension fee was implemented August 2022 to give applicants for cannabis licenses. Extensions were granted to 161, the email said, but the fees were never collected by commission staff. The total amount owed in licensing fees was $555,671, according to the email. The commission offered no explanation for the failure to collect the fees or why the error went unnoticed for 2 years. However, it said the commission is in the process of collecting the unpaid fees and implementing procedures to make sure the funds are collected in the future.
I mean, but that's crazy to think. I don't know how many fucking. Just imagine how much a license is.
I know.
That's the other thing. The barrier to entry to certain
Let's see. There's
markets is so crazy, especially when once you enter the market and we pay you the license fee. Now
There
I
you
gotta
go.
pay you the fucking taxes.
Do that
too.
mail. 161 applicants and $555,671.
Yeah.
There you go. I want to be able to read. There is a wild quote in here that makes me laugh, and I want to be able to read it. So hold on. I know you want to talk about stuff, but let me get to this. The first public hint of a problem surfaced in mid-July when Grant Smith Ellis alleged in a story for the Cannabis Law Report that missing fees may have been stolen. Deborah Hilton Creek, the acting executive director of the agency, denied the allegation at the commission's July 19th public meeting. Here is a quote. I can no longer remain silent about the unconscionable treatment of our staff at the commission. Be nice to us. And the egregious allegations that employees are stealing is equally unconscionable. This unrelenting effort to negate or minimize the accomplishments of this agency is not cool.
Ain't cool, man.
This unrelenting effort to negate or minimize the accomplishments of this agency is not cool.
Yeah, but what's the accomplishments? You guys flopped. You dropped the ball on collecting fucking $500,000. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I went to fucking work tomorrow and they said, "Where's the fucking $500,000?" I'd
be like, it was in the safe
"Wait a
right there,
minute,
man. You
wait a
just gotta,
minute. What do you mean, man? You better
you better hold on.
talk about my accomplishments here."
Yeah.
They'd be like, "What fucking accomplishments? Anybody could have fucking lost $555,000 fucking dollars."
Yeah.
Hey, it would have been. I could have fucking at least made a YouTube channel about it and fucking.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know what I mean? We could have blown up a fucking, you know, a fucking warehouse with $500,000 in it.
Yeah, when
Yeah,
I
made
when
a
I read
video.
that was hilarious. It just made me giggle that it's just not cool. It's just
Fucking
not
so
cool to like,
nuts.
you know, talk about when, you know, it's your government does bad.
I just, I don't know, man. This is my whole thing is like behind closed doors, who the fuck really knows what's
Nobody.
going on?
Not a single
And
person.
all these official motherfuckers just think they're official.
Yeah.
And they just play the role. Hey,
Yep.
we're official.
Yep.
You better listen up.
We paid the
bud.
money.
And if you don't listen up and we find out you're not listening up, well, we'll fucking shoot you, pal.
Yeah.
We'll make you go away.
Yeah, we'll give him. Why does he sound like Bill Clinton?
I don't know why that just happened either.
But like, no, we'll just give more money to the government to make you go away. That's what they do.
Well, it's weird because
It's what they have to do because they're not
who
actually making
runs
money.
What and what
Who
is-
does number 2 work for?
Who does number 2 work for?
Yeah. Who does number 2 work for? Number 2 should work for you. It's a true story.
You know, man, I just, well, you know, I think about, you know, stuff a lot. I get real philosophical in my brain.
Yeah.
I try to perceive what the fuck the impact is from the things that are going on around. I started with myself. I started to realize, man, what impact do I make outwardly by doing the things that I do? And I tried to rein that in. I got a good control of it, I think. I try my best not to be selfish of any sorts. You know, I tried to give back more than
Yeah,
I take in. That's
sure.
really just it. My
Yeah.
whole life. I want to give out more than I take in.
For sure.
And I don't know, man. I see how things go, and how things are going. Where do we make the change? And I know I make like jokes sometimes, the atomic bong, and I know I talk about we should communicate better, and I know bridging between fucking hemp and cannabis and whatever, but at some point, we have to revolutionize our thought process. It's the way that we actually think about things,
Yeah.
right? Because the amount of people that say, I can't do that, and they want to yell at you about it, it's
Yeah.
weird. Why can't you? Because from what we understand, people without the big fucking bulldozers and the big fucking machinery that we have of
Yeah.
now built the goddamn pyramids, right?
Yep.
We can't fucking explain it. We're really smart. We know a bunch of shit. What?
No, there's people who have explained it.
Well,
I mean, it was all
there's
strings and aliens and
Yeah,
water
I
and,
mean-
and logs and
and whether
Yeah.
it was whatever your theory of how it actually happened, nobody was actually fucking there, and nobody actually
I-
can say
hold on.
100%.
What about the pyramids in Mexico? Nobody is. I mean, it's very common to
Oh,
say nobody
there's
is.
pyramids
Yeah,
in fucking
well, everywhere.
in China. There's
But yeah,
pyramids in
there's
fucking
everybody knows who built the ones in Mexico. Why is it just Egypt? They don't know they don't know who built them.
the Egyptians built them.
Oh, okay.
Well, but when?
But when I guess that's
Well,
probably
and even then,
that's
but we can go.
shout out Graham Hancock.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out shout out Elder was it
Did you
the
just see
Elder
the
Dryad
cave
theory?
painting that they saw recently? This is one of the coolest things, actually. This is something for me that makes
Yeah.
all of what I'm talking about kind of. There was a cave painting they just found that from the way that we date things nowadays,
Yeah.
it takes some little thing and shows how many layers of something has been deposited on this thing.
Sure.
According to this thing, this fucking painting is 52,000 years old, and it looks very much so like a pig. And there's some figures around it. They try and say there's 3 people around it.
Oh,
but
so this
cave
is
painting.
them talking about like Elder Dryad theory and like how we're actually more sophisticated than just smaller bands of hunter gatherers,
Well,
and that we were actually could create metropolises many thousands of years ago, and that we
the
have.
chances that the rocket just turns in on itself, and where there's water now there isn't, and
Sure.
and
Yeah.
just there's one of these numbers. So some of the shit that might have been really important of back in the day
Yeah.
might have already been eaten by the earth or
Yeah.
whatever. Some of the important tools, right?
Right.
And then it got dumb for a little bit.
Right.
Because when the smart people go away, what do you got? You got a bunch of dumbs.
Right.
People who just go, "Oh, well, feed me," and what? Yeah, it's weird, right?
Right.
But I don't know. There's been intelligent life before. We know it. Our opportunity to exist is super fucking neat to me.
Yep.
For us to not take into perspective all of the life that has been human.
Yeah.
Whatever it looks like, whatever color, shape, religion, size. Stop taking these fucking identities that
Yeah.
you claim and think about us as a survivable creature. We have to revolutionize our fucking mind.
No.
We've got to come to a point where we all see some shit together. And I think that probably way more of us do than don't.
Yeah.
But these people who are the governors and the people who are in control, I don't know if it is the actual politicians or not. None of us really know anymore. There's just a lot of smoke and mirrors going on out there.
Mhm.
But regardless of what the fuck it is, we need to wrangle back in our perspective on how the fuck are we going to get to the next point, right? I
Yep.
think a lot of us are at that same place. And there's a few who are very good at manipulating. And right now, the manipulation is in here.
Yep.
It's not the
Go
physical
outside and talk to
labor.
people, and you'll find out what the actual thing is.
We are not in the age of physical labor slavery.
Right.
We are in the age of mental slavery.
Don't keep it in here. Talk to other people. That's what I meant.
100%. Find out how actually
Yeah.
agreeable everybody in
Yeah.
your community is.
Yeah.
People that look different, people
Yeah.
that speak different, people that you know who's not. The when you look at him, you go, "Yeah, that crusty motherfucker.
You.
He don't like. He's just
You.
angry at the whole fucking world."
You're the one who's not different.
I mean,
You know what I mean? You're the one who's,
yeah. I mean,
don't be that person.
Every single one of us has the opportunity to be cool, man. Be cool. Understand that your perspective is just it's only because of your environment. Open up your thoughts, open up your mind to the ideas of others, because even then, for me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the angry people going, "Well, why are you so angry for?"
Yeah.
And then I start to talk to them and I go, "Well, hey, that's real solvable.
Yeah.
You could just do this about it." I can't.
Yeah.
Oh, you're constant and never-ending troubles. They're persistent. They're there. They're
Yep.
constant and never-ending. But
That's
I
right.
look at the Can-I, constant, never-ending improvements.
That's right.
Hey, improve every day, man.
Cannabis.
Can-I-bis,
Yeah.
motherfucks.
Anyway. Good episode, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
You got anything? Any closing thoughts?
I just, I love life.
Yeah. Love life.
Sometimes it's stressful, but I don't let it get to me for that long.
No. Just hang with Aaron and Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
Dope dudes bringing fire, making tracks that'll never tire.
We got to release that that one too.
I should give it to you.
Yeah, you should give it to
You
me.
should be putting that everywhere because they're just gonna hear me singing it for a while.
Hell
It's a
yeah.
great song.
Hey, and if you want to hang out and create great songs, because Dave will actually take some of the things you say and put them into the song all night, and then at the end of the night, sometimes he'll just put a bunch of quotes that he really liked, and then he makes a song out of it, and it's super fun. And you can do that on Peace, Love, and Cope.
Yeah.
Thursday night, streaming 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for at least a couple hours. Depends on how tired he is and has to get up in the morning for his 8 a.m. job.
That's,
No, I just like fucking
I
with
could
you.
do whatever you please.
He used to stream till like 4 in the morning, like literally falling asleep on stream. And now he's just like, it's 11 o'clock. Good night.
Listen, I come for a
But I
genuine
used to
purpose,
come till
and I
like
give
9, and then I'm like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Well, and I go for a genuine purpose, and I think to give a few hours to that purpose is still
Sure.
good. But I end up giving a few more hours sometimes to the community because I love the people that are sitting there. And I did build some of that community off of let's have a little fun.
Yeah.
It's Thursday night.
That's right.
Whatever. So I stick with both sides of things, but I
wasn't
haven't
criticizing you.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
mean it
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
I don't think so.
I didn't want
but
anybody
it's
else
to
to
add
think that either.
perspective to, I think that's the thing. I think I have an interesting perspective at some things, and I think that I stand from a very neutral standpoint, whatever it is. When I went down to my fucking GM conference recently, they voted me most likely to solve world peace.
That's right.
That's right. I'm trying, baby.
I know.
We're gonna figure it out.
We are going to figure out. Hey, we love you all. Smoke weed every day. Peace.
Yo, ding dong, we're done here. Time to go.